No king of casa.
The No Kings Puffin.
The No King spoofing.
Excited? I want to dance.
A stunning video of the accused assassin dancing. 57-year-old Vance Belter is preaching at a church in the Congo, a rousing sermon that couldn't be farther removed from the hatred police say fueled his shocking murder spree. This video has also surfaced of Belter claiming to work with law enforcement with a specialty in removing bodies from crime scenes.
We're working with a lot of police officers and death investigators at the location where a decedent is found. Could be a crime scene or just a natural death.
Belter is charged with the murder of State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark, and the attempted murder of State Senator John Hortman and his wife Yvette.
2,000 separate demonstrations in all 50 states. So-called No King's Day protest. Authorities finding flyers for the protests in the suspect's vehicle.
JEJE Vibe, JEJE Vibe, JEJE Vibe.
It's JEJE Vibe.
What are you waiting for? If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. You know I got my amazing queen with me.
Thanks, my love. The amazing nose.
It's Lewis and Gabriel. And if you're new to the channel, you know what to do. Go get a friend, sit down, relax with your popcorn, and let's give you what's going on. What's going on? You know, so we got to talk about the No Kings spy or the No Kings assassin. No King assassin.
The No Kings Puffin.
The No King spoofing.
You gotta make it soft. Puffin.
Puffin.
Shocking news out of Minnesota. The Speaker of the Minnesota State House of Representatives and her husband shot and killed in what appears to be a politically motivated assassination. For the shooter, he's accused of killing Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband. Just 2 miles away, police say the attacker then shot State Senator John Hortman and his wife. They were shot multiple times. They have been in and out of surgery. Doctors are optimistic that they will survive. Police say the shooter targeted the Democratic lawmakers by impersonating a police officer, knocking on their doors in the middle of the night with what appeared to be a cruiser's lights flashing in their driveway. Police say his car looked like that police car. Inside it, they found a list with other possible targets, including the names of several other lawmakers.
You know, in the matrix that we're in right now, there's so many things happening.
So many things.
So you got to be like on top of the matrix in order for you to like see what's going on.
Because you might not catch some things.
You might not catch it. So we're going to give you guys the breakdown of this whole thing that happened, this whole event that happened in the matrix.
A whole shenanigans that happened at once.
From Atlanta to Arlington to Albuquerque to Anaheim. 2,000 separate demonstrations in all 50 states. So-called No King's Day protest voicing opposition to President Trump's agenda and a joint birthday celebration he threw for the U.S. Army and himself. Many protests peaceful, but some erupting into chaos. Gunfire breaking out during a demonstration in Salt Lake City, Utah. Police rushing to help one victim in critical condition. Authorities taking one man into custody and saying there are no other known threats to the community. A motive under investigation. In Los Angeles, police used flashbangs to break up crowds outside federal buildings downtown. Protesters seen running to safety. Demonstrations in Minnesota canceled after that deadly targeted shooting of Democratic lawmakers. Authorities finding flyers for the protests in the suspect's vehicle. And in Charlotte, 2 protesters arrested for assaulting officers.
There's the whole idea of people saying no kings in America.
They don't want a monarch now.
Like, this is not the United Kingdom.
Shit, this is America, where we practice democracy and how, hey, civilized human beings can have a civilized conversation.
Opposites whatever you're saying,
we can agree to disagree.
can agree to disagree. We can all agree to disagree. So there was a protest that was scheduled to rock the whole ethos at the same time when the president is having a parade for the military.
Yep.
And
On
this
his
is-
birthday, so to say. Ain't that something?
But at the same
Meanwhile, a stark contrast for President Trump's night, filled with pomp and circumstance in Washington. Commemorating the 250th birthday of the U.S. Army and his 79th birthday, culminating in a military parade along the National Mall, the first of its kind since 1991. The military estimates Saturday's parade cost as much as $45 million in taxpayer money.
Every other country celebrates their victories. It's about time America did too.
But just outside the perimeter, thousands gathered to protest.
More than 1,000 people gathered at Logan Circle, now marching down towards the White House. But they feel passionate about being specifically here in D.C. peacefully to make sure that the White House hears their opposition.
President Trump told reporters that protesters would be met with heavy force.
Ain't that
But at
something?
the same time, Gemini's like Gemini's we be tweaking sometimes like that. We tend to like want to make some things about us.
Not all Geminis now.
But not all Geminis. But it's Gemini season too. Sometimes you just see
Some Gemini character.
which is the whole idea of the whole Gemini thing or whatever.
It's not even just Gemini now, astrology now.
The whole idea of astrology is still a section in the matrix, but you got to be on top of it. So it's not like you're leaving through your astrology or whatever, but you're on top of it because you're aware of it.
Yep.
So that's you don't get ruled by it. You now rule it.
Staying on top of your astrology.
Staying on top of things. Staying on top of things. So the president was having a parade on that day. At the same time, the No Kings protest was going on. And at the same time, someone took it upon himself to go out and poof, two respected couples in the whole community.
Yep.
Excited? I want to dance.
A stunning video of the accused assassin dancing. 57-year-old Vance Belter is preaching at a church in the Congo, a rousing sermon that couldn't be farther removed from the hatred police say fueled his shocking murder spree. This video has also surfaced of Belter claiming to work with law enforcement with a specialty in removing bodies from crime scenes.
We're working with a lot of police officers and death investigators at the location where a decedent is found. Could be a crime scene or just a natural death.
Belter is charged with the murder of State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark, and the attempted murder of State Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette.
Wearing a mask while at it.
Crazy look.
Fully armed.
Like this is some movie shit.
Pressing the bell.
Like this is some type of movie, type of scary shit.
Shit. Like a scary movie. Let me put it that way.
Because from the images we're seeing right now on the internet, it's like, wow. If I see that person at the door, you already know what's up. But somehow he succeeded in poofing two people in their homes.
We're learning chilling new details of these shootings. The attempt to assassinate the Hoffmans was caught on home security video. A federal prosecutor said that video was the stuff of nightmares. He said the suspect pretended to be a cop and banged on the door, shining a flashlight on them. The senator opened the front door and quickly realized this was no cop.
When Senator Hoffman attempted to push Belter out and stop him from entering his home, Belter shot him repeatedly. Belter then shot Miss Hoffman repeatedly. Belter fled the scene, and the Hoffman's daughter called 911.
Their 28-year-old daughter's life was saved by her heroic mom, who shielded her with her body.
This is crazy sad.
Crazy.
That was not the only shooting. 2
Nope.
people also survived. He went to a different home and also shot 2 people. So they survived the gunshots miraculously.
An hour later, cops almost captured Belter as he was about to murder the Hortmans.
When Belter saw the officers get out of the car, he drew his weapon and began firing. He rushed into the house through the front door, and when he entered, he murdered Representative Hortman and her husband, Mark.
The shooter is still in the house, they believe barricaded with the firearm.
Before escaping, he shot and wounded the Hortman's dog, Gilbert, who had to be euthanized. Police say this image shows Belter dressed as a police officer and wearing a hyper-realistic latex Halloween mask. Here's what the mask looks like in the light of day when we tried it on.
And this whole thing started this is the whole beginning of the manhunt. Because now the news is saying that when the police came into the home, there was a tattoo back and forth.
Why you gotta say it like that though? There was a back and forth between the guy that poofed and the officers.
Papu.
This shit ain't funny.
Man, we gotta be on. You guys know how YouTube be acting though.
The YouTube, please.
So if you don't get it, forget about it.
The shooting initially at the Senator Hoffman's house, about 6 or so miles from here in Champlin. Authorities kind of rush over here when they kind of start putting the pieces together, like, oh, maybe we should take a look at a nearby lawmaker. We understand the Hoffmans and the Hortmans are friends. The cops arrived here to see this, what we would come now to know as basically a faux police car in the driveway, and there is an encounter with the alleged gunman on the doorstep. Gunfire is exchanged. Police take cover. The suspect runs into the house and disappears out the back and the Edinburgh golf course.
But he was able to take the back door enough. So the manhunt started.
Here now we're looking at the video of that faux squad car, perhaps part of this suspect's, Vance Belter's, person of interest. He has a security firm. Perhaps that vehicle is used in that type of work. You can see the flashing lights. And if you look closely as it's pulled away on this flatbed truck, we were there. There's our video right there. You might be able to see the front license plate as well as the back license plate. Say police, Police. It's not an official police license plate clearly, but it did say police. We know he was dressed, the alleged gunman was, in what appeared to be tactical law enforcement type gear with a badge that the Brooklyn Park Police Chief said looks an awful lot like what he wears. This is what the neighborhood had to deal with all morning long until the all clear was given mid-afternoon. SWAT, heavily armed officers.
So imagine the president having this parade, the protest going on, and there's a manhunt going on.
Yeah, even in the parade too. He had bulletproof screens everywhere.
Man.
The Army keeps us free. You make us strong. And tonight, you have made all Americans very proud.
Even the president is like that.
Expecting the unexpected.
Man, but see, you have to give it to him. Surviving that. Surviving that this thing. Listen, you almost bust the eardrum. But thank God, you just pew. So you have to be serious now. You have to know that anybody can try to test God. Anybody can just say they want to try something. So you just gotta respect.
But my own thing is, how did we get here as a society whereby the president is trying to address the military now?
It's crazy.
The military that's supposed to keep you safe, and you are busy bulletproofing yourself and a couple of other people.
Now then look like you don't even trust
you don't even trust your military, and your military too might not trust you in return. It's
it's a yin yang.
Yeah.
It's a yin yang.
The Gemini things.
It's a yin yang. So back to this manhunt. It continued. The manhunt continued. They were looking for this guy. The whole country was on alert. It's like the whole Minnesota was like.
While there's no King's protest at the same time.
It was crazy.
You can see the chaosness.
So they had to announce in Minnesota that the No King's protest, nobody should come out.
From No Kings, the organization, because of breaking news, what authorities are calling a politically motivated shooting of 2 elected officials in Minneapolis. The No Kings event in Northeast Minneapolis has been canceled. They are looking for this active shooter.
And hopefully, I think some people did come out, but it didn't really happen because everybody was like on the edge.
Yeah,
this guy just did this crazy shit.
This is the focus of the manhunt. His name is Vance Belter. He's 57 years old. He most recently looks like there in the cowboy hat. That was his last known clothing that he had on. You can see him at the door of one of the lawmakers in that rubber mask and then carrying the flashlight, identifying himself apparently as a police officer. And then the 2 photos on the left.
And now they're saying it's political. It belongs to this place.
Yeah, they're saying that it was some people that actually sent the guy to go do some bad deeds now.
Crazy.
Cops recovered weapons and a hit list from Belter's SUV and a notebook listing websites and search engines he used to research his victims. After the murders, the FBI says Belter texted his family, warning them, "Dad went to war last night. There's going to be some people coming to the house armed and trigger happy, and I don't want you guys around." And this is the moment Belter surrendered to cops late last night after an hour-long siege near his home in rural Minnesota.
They're saying there's a letter he was sent to the federal authorities and he was pointing his fingers to somebody. Crazy, man. Crazy work.
Crazy work.
Man.
They were finding out he wrote a letter to the FBI claiming he was trained by the U.S. military, quote, off the books, and that Tim Waltz asked him to kill Amy Klobuchar so he could take her Senate seat. Belter's facing state and federal murder charges.
The whole No Kings protest. People came out.
A lot of people.
It happened. It was a peaceful protest. It's good. Like you guys can protest, but not the one you now start doing crazy shit when you're protesting. Like, and the whole violence and all of that. Nah, don't need that. Like, let's let our voice be heard, easy and peacefully, and go home and eat your food and continue your life. Because that's what you have to do in the Matrix. If you're mad at what is happening in the system, in the Matrix, you let your voice known, but no violence. No violence. The whole No Kings was a really crazy day.
It was the No Kings Day. Let's put it that way.
The good thing, the president had a successful parade.
He did, even though there was some propaganda now that he rained heavily.
Crazy. Man.
This is not Pyongyang on a Saturday, so I'm just going to confess too, and I don't, might get me in trouble, whatever. I have never so hoped for rain in my life.
I hope the weather's okay, but actually if it's not, that brings you good luck. And that's okay too. It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect the tanks at all. It doesn't affect the soldiers. They're used to it. They're tough, smart.
What to expect for our Saturday. And of course, we're talking about the big military parade going on downtown. We could see something like this during the day tomorrow as well. More showers, more thunderstorms developing, and really the best timing for this is going to be most likely around 6 to 10 o'clock, and that's right when the parade's supposed to be going on, the flyover, the fireworks. We could be in for some scattered showers and thunderstorms around that time.
You can't beat the mainstream media, but the president so far has been showing that you can beat them.
You can beat the mainstream media with the truth.
Facto. This is still the agent of the matrix, still on the whole matrix.
Staying on top of it.
Staying on top of things. So if you're new to the channel, you want to stay on top of things, you know where to be. It's JEJE Vibe. Hit the like and subscribe.
We're out of here now.
See you guys in the next one. JEJE Vibe.
It's JEJE Vibe.
Can you feel the vibe? Can you feel the vibe?
I'm feeling it.
You know it's JEJE Vibe.
It's JEJE Vibe.
You know feel the vibe.
There have been rallies across the country opposing President Trump's agenda on the day of the president's military parade. They cap a week of demonstrations against immigration raids that began in Los Angeles and spread nationwide. Today's events in about 2,000 cities and towns were organized by the No Kings movement, which calls the administration's actions authoritarian. There were rallies near Mr. Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence in West Palm Beach, Florida.
No ICE! No KKK! No fascist USA!
In Boston, where it was raining, in Atlanta, with Proud Boy counter-protesters looking on, and in Philadelphia at the flagship No Kings rally. Local officials urged protesters to demonstrate peacefully and avoid blocking roads. The No Kings protests were organized by a coalition of groups. Lisa Gilbert is co-president of one of them, Public Citizen, a progressive advocacy group.
My good friend and colleague, Speaker Melissa Hortman, and her husband Mark were shot and killed early this morning in what appears to be a politically motivated assassination. Our state lost a great leader, and I lost a dearest of friends. Speaker Hortman was someone who served the people of Minnesota with grace, compassion, humor, and a sense of service. She was a formidable public servant, a fixture and a giant in Minnesota. She woke up every day determined to make this state a better place. She is irreplaceable, and we've been missed by so many. Minnesota's thoughts and prayers are with her family, her loved ones, her children, and her parents. My prayers also go out to State Senator John Hortman and his wife Yvette, who were each shot multiple times.
On Minnesota, there were a lot of horrific details that came out today about the suspect who's been charged there. Have you called the governor yet or been able to speak to any of them?
I don't really call him. He appointed this guy to a position. I think the governor of Minnesota is so whacked out. I'm not calling him. Why would I call him? I could call him and say, hi, how you doing? The guy doesn't have a clue. He's a mess. So, I could be nice and call him, but why waste time?
Read through the stack of pages here that unveil things we did not know before, including text messages Belter sent to his wife after the shooting. We also learned what police discovered at his home in Green Isle and at a storage unit in Minneapolis. BCA search warrants unsealed today reveal numerous new details in regards to Vance Belter, the man accused in the attacks on Minnesota lawmakers. According to these search warrants, inside Belter's home in Green Isle, authorities found 48 pistols, revolvers, shotguns, and rifles, boxes of ammunition, a camouflage suit, a note card with public officials' names on it, multiple computers, and nearly $18,000 in cash. Police say Belter had 12 separate vehicles registered to him at his home in Green Isle. Also, according to the search warrant, Belter's wife told police during an interview that she received a text from Belter at approximately 6:15 a.m. in a family group chat Saturday morning, indicating he was sorry. Federal court papers revealed when Belter's wife was pulled over in Mille Lacs County on Saturday, she agreed to a search of her vehicle, and police found 2 pistols, at least $10,000 in cash, and all of their kids and Belter's passport. In these search warrants, we also learned that Belter had a storage unit on the 4600 block of Lyndale Avenue North in Minneapolis. Inside the storage unit, authorities discovered a duffel bag with 5 body bags inside, gun cases, a pair of pants, gun cleaning supplies, and a gray tarp. In the federal court papers, we learned Belter visited a bank in Robbinsdale on Saturday at 9 a.m. and withdrew $2,200. We also learned that Belter and his wife were, quote, preppers, people who prepare for catastrophic incidents.
Hello, my name is Vance Belter. I just go by Vance. No other names that I use. I live in Green Isle, Minnesota, about an hour away from the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. I'm affiliated with 2 funeral homes. I work full-time for Wolf Funeral Home, which is an intake location for about 6 funeral homes. And we also do all the intake for the National Cremation Society and the Neptune Society for all their cremation customers as well. So I mainly do removals at this point. So I work at Wolf full time, and then I also work for another funeral home called Metro First Call, and they also do traditional removals at nursing homes, assisted living apartments, but they also have contracts with medical examiner's office. So like one contract is the Hennepin County Medical Examiner's Office, so we'll do removals, which we're working with a lot of police officers and death investigators at the location where a decedent is found. Could be a crime scene or just a natural death. And our role is to just take the decedent from that place of death to the medical examiner's office. And so between those 2 locations, I'm working about 6 days a week. What else here? Family and pets. I have a wife and 5 kids, and we have 2 pets, German Shepherds. Fun fact about myself, I've been in the food industry about 30 years, and that led to an opportunity. I was invited to the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is located in Central Africa. When I was in high school, the country was called Zaire. That's a little bit more familiar with people, but it's the largest, second largest country in Africa, right in the middle in the center there, and was asked a couple years ago to go and see what I could do for ideas on helping their food supply system. Their population is about 100 million people, and they import 80% of their food currently. So some of the food companies I worked for in the past were Farm to Fork, like Del Monte Foods and Golden Plump Poultry, where we did everything from, at Del Monte, we planted the products to harvested them to process them and then shipped them out. In Golden Plump Poultry, we had our own hatcheries, grow out barns with the farmers, and then processing plants. So between those 2 companies, I have some experience with agriculture. And so over in the Democratic Republic of Congo, I had some ideas they thought were pretty promising, which the company I was working for at the time wasn't interested in doing anything in Africa. So I talked with my wife, and we decided I just put in my 2-week notice, and we just go off on our own to try to do these projects to help out in Africa. So we're doing farming and fishing projects in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And to help pay the bills, I just started working at a funeral home because the shift worked good for my schedule with the other things I was doing.
Very soon after Vance Belter's name came out, his work on a nonpartisan state workforce advisory board surfaced. But what does that board actually do, and what does his appointment mean? Adriana D'Alba looked into it for us today. Adriana?
Yes, Julie. Well, for days, conspiracy theories have flooded social media. Claims that Governor Tim Walz personally appointed the suspect in the shootings of 2 lawmakers and their spouses to a workforce advisory board. Well, tonight, a former governor, Tim Pawlenty, is stepping in to set the record straight.
After the shootings in Minnesota, online rumors spread faster than facts.
It pains me to see so many people grabbing little things and twisting them into conspiracies.
Vance Belter, the man accused in the attack, did serve on a state workforce development board, but Belter was first named to that role years ago under then-Governor Mark Dayton. The board, volunteer-based, low-profile, one of more than 100 across Minnesota, with over 1,000 members. Former Minnesota Governor Tim Pawlenty says these are not handpicked by the governor himself and require minor screening.
Would you say that these advisory boards are more technical than political, more ceremonial?
It really varies. Most of the people who serve come from all walks of life across the state, and the governor, in most instances, wouldn't necessarily know these individuals.
Despite that, theories took off, including one pushed by President Donald Trump.
He anointed this guy to a position. I think the governor of Minnesota is so whacked out.
Pawlenty, a Republican, says the claims are baseless and dangerous.
Well, I'm really saddened by sort of the state of our public discourse and our politics. And whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, an independent, or something else, we all need to do better and be better.